This is The March of the Dwarfs by Grieg. It's one of the pieces I played as a child, and I really love playing this piece, and I can't wait to teach it with you and discover some very interesting things based on the chart that I made. This is a 4-page piece. You can get your own version of it at sallychristianmusic.com. And what I love about this, if we look at pages 1 and 2, and with our easy page turn, pages 3 and 4, we really have the A section and the B section, just like that. And then there is a repeat at the end of the B section, and you just back up for your A. Now, what is really wonderful about this is it starts off with our broken fifth in the left hand, and in that first line you can see pretty much the outline. It's a 5-finger pattern. This is in D minor. It starts with the 5-finger pattern. Coming down the D minor, except in chromatic tones. And then the next phrase. Then we come with this wonderful skipping motive. And one of the things that I am so excited about this, sharing with you today, is Grieg actually wrote 2 versions of the piece, one for solo piano, and then he did a transcription for orchestra. He did that with the help of a colleague of his. And I highly recommend that you listen to the orchestral version. It will give you so many ideas of colors and textures that the orchestra can give, which we can't really get on the piano, but if we have an ear for it, of what a clarinet sounds like, what flutes sound like, how does an oboe sound, what does timpani sound like, we can put it in the expression of our playing. When we get to the second line, right away, he uses flutes for this part. And if you have that sound of flutes in your ear, you'll strive to get that fluency and brilliance of it, really. Coming to the third section, the third line of this piece here, very interesting that this line and this line is pretty much identical. Now, what I did in my music, this is interesting because each of these are only 7 measures long. Coming down, let me play it for you first. Track that? Well, it's built with 3 and then 4, and those 4 are an exact repeat. It just keeps looping around. So to learn this easily, watch the first 3 measures. 1, 2, 3. Now start your 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You won't have any problem with that. It can be a little tricky rhythmically to track that, but when you divide it in your mind and practice it and see it that way, it becomes very easy, very straightforward. Now, starting at the last line of page 1, we have a beautiful bit of writing here. Just listen to this wonderful bottom line of the left hand. It's all chromatic. He loves chromaticism. Now, what he puts over that, listen to this, how scary. Remember, these are little trolls. So they have an edge to them. A little scary, a little eerie, spooky. This is tricky. From the 6th, we go to here. Putting the right hand, you'll see that there is absolute duplication of these tones. Let me block it and you'll hear that. Switch. Now we switch to the A in the middle. That leads here. And in the orchestral version on the top of page 2, fortissimo, accents. These are timpani. Bum, 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 bum. Very exciting, tremendously exciting. Of course, everyone knows that the real treacherous part of the piece are these octaves on line 2. It's very hard to play that accurately. Going on now, I want to show you our beautiful middle section. From D minor, he goes to an unexpected D major, parallel major. And this becomes very pastoral and a complete contrast. It's like going into an open meadow and everything is beautiful and tranquil. Version, that's a violin solo. And in the second half of that phrase, you see how beautifully this is written in 8 measures, 4 and 4. And then we have a repeat with a little bit of a variation, which we'll get to in a second. Before we do, I want to point out that this is 4-part harmony, soprano, alto in the right hand, tenor, bass in the left hand. So if we look at that left hand part right here at the second half of the top of page 3, we have uses actually horns for that. You can hear it very clearly. Very beautiful writing. Now for our second line, his slight variation is to syncopate and to bring the chords, and these are just 2 chords he's using. Pretty simple, but because he plays it on the offbeat, 1 and, it has a whole different feeling to it. Here's this marvelous rhapsodic passage. It's almost like a bird warbling and then skipping. Now, I recommend you practice this in blocked intervals. 4th, that's under the hand, and then they're all 4ths. And I circled my bottom notes so I could track that the bottom note makes a G major triad in measure 91. In measure 92, it makes an E minor triad. Let me play that and bring those out. See if you can hear the G major triad. And going to the E minor here. So you're going to watch those and block it. So you can do that without any problem. Going on to the next line. Isn't that gorgeous? Now watch your E flats here. And then watch your F sharps on the 3rd one. And that sets us up G major. Flutes. Of the middle section. Now this, it helps to analyze that it's a 5th, 6th, and 6th. And 6th, 6th, 5th. So the first time's 5th, 6th, 6th. Second time, 6th, 6th, 5th. If you can block it, or you can play it as written without ever messing up. So here we go. Second line here was an exact repeat of this, just down the octave, with one exception. I'll play the last line again. And the left hand now is a fifth instead of the first time, which was a third. Setting up the fifths for the recapitulation. Keep a nice flexible wrist like that, almost like a basketball dribble. Keep the cord right under the fingertips. Don't really let it up too much. It's a nice technique. You want to keep the hands very relaxed. Same with the left hand. Just little bounces. Very fun to play, very flexible. So I hope you enjoy working on this, and I want to reassure you that all of these details that you've pounded into your brain and into your fingers and into your mind are not going to disappear. If you learn this the right way, this will be there for you in all of your performances. So the work you put in up front is going to pay off. And what this reminds me of is what my teacher used to tell me in German: Gelernt ist gelernt. Learned is learned. And once you've learned it, you can't unlearn it. Happy learning! Gelernt ist gelernt!